Good day. I am at the Northeast River Valley Park in the very northeast part of Edmonton, and thought I would give this place a shot. There's kind of a 1.5 kilometer trail around this lake with a couple covered bridges, which is kind of cool. And then we can pick up the river valley trails over there, which we might do. My knee's kind of bugging me today, so we'll see how far we get. This used to be a rock quarry out here that the city purchased in 2023, City of Edmonton, and turned it into this park and event center. That was the event center we were walking by there. Added some covered bridges to give the place some character. So, let's give her a walk and see what we see. It's about 20 degrees, but you can sure feel that breeze coming in. That's cooler than it has been for a long time. And it's supposed to be 27 today, but I'm not sure how well you can tell, but it is hazy. Apparently there are some barn swallows nesting in here. See nest up in the corner there. One of them is amazing how they can make them stick to the wall like that. See little babies up in there, or little birds anyways. Probably hard to see with this camera. Nice little playground area here. Quite a sizable pond area. Not for swimming though. Coming up to our second covered bridge here. Just like bridges of Madison County. I only know that movie because Clint Eastwood was in it. I think I'm going to head to the right here and circle the pond to start out with. This place is well set up for day camps and such. I think they mentioned that on the sign. Summer camps and things like that. Hardly anybody out here today. I don't know if it's the smoke keeping them away or what. It's Labor Day Monday, so maybe people are just preparing for getting their kids back to school and stuff, getting back to a normal non-summer routine. I always hated back to school. I don't know if it was because I was a mama's boy or what, but the fact that I didn't really like school either had a part to play in that. I always dreaded going back to school. My kids always seemed happy to go back to school. And here I am like, what's wrong with you? Pushing my angst out to them. I'm glad they didn't pick that up. That piece of it anyways. My wife works in the school system, so she was back to work last week. So she works like a 10-month year, and so it got our lives back in synchronization again. Saw a guy riding his bike with a mask on. I'm not sure those types of COVID style masks really do anything for the smoke. This place is quite a ways from home. It's pretty much on the very northeast boundary of the city of Edmonton, and I live in the west, just about to the boundary there. So it was a half-hour drive to get here. Another big pond back there. It seems to feed this side of the pond over this nice bridge here. That takes us back to the event center. Over here there's some nice picnic areas. And public washrooms, which are always handy to have. Yeah, the going back to school thing, I think it was part of it was kind of the insecurity of leaving home. My mom was kind of having some issues back in the day, and you're kind of worried about stability of your life, and if you left the house, what was going to happen when you returned, or what it was going to be like when you returned. So I'm sure that added to my lack of desire to go back to school. And home was always kind of a sort of a safe space, depending on what was happening at any given time. Most of this part of the park is dogs on leashes. Off in the distance there is a fenced area, which is kind of an enclosed off-leash section. So far this has been fairly flat, but I am having a little bit of trouble catching my breath from the smoke, I think. I think we've had it worse, but this is pretty heavy today. Okay, off to my left is to the parking lot. And this gravel trail does take me down to that bridge we already crossed, but I think I can follow it left and take the trail that way towards the River Valley Trail. Let's find out. Probably can't see it in my GoPro, but the swallows have come out to play. We had tree swallows trying to nest in one of our birdhouses that we have on our back fence, but maybe they thought they were too small, because mind you, when I see the size of their nests in there, our birdhouses probably would have been big enough. Maybe the sparrows chased them away. We have a lot of magpies and ravens around too, and maybe they were concerned for their safety. And being called tree swallows, maybe they were looking for an actual tree to nest in. Off in the distance is Raven Crest Golf Course. Can't really see it from here. It didn't look overly busy either. I didn't know what I was getting myself into, so I did douse myself with bug spray. And I do see them flying around me. I'm not sure if they're flies or mosquitoes, but I'm protected. Now that the wind has died down here, that sun is still pushing through a lot of heat. I don't think the smoke cover seems to make much of a difference on the heat load. Yesterday was a tough hike through Telford Lake in Leduc. Got myself into more than I really wanted to yesterday, but we powered through. Okay, the rest of this trail will just circle around this park. I'm gonna head up this little hill and get to the trails that are up above there. Sort of some parking up here. I'm running into all the cyclists that are becoming an annoyance. And we're gonna hit the River Valley trails here. Okay, if we went up that way, would take us to Hermitage Park. But let's go along this way. And no, it's not because the hill scared me. I've just never been down here before. Lots of leaf foliage going on in here. Won't be long before everything's yellow. Today being Labor Day, I guess it's bonus day to get... Ooh, my knee just kind of gave out there. Another longish walk in. I think my knee gave out because I'm trying to protect myself from bending it funny in pain and getting pain anyways. The North Saskatchewan, you can't see it through the brush, but he is off to my right. And we're still paralleling the Northeast Park. Not a very colorful name, but how many times have we seen lately that park has been named after a person, and then even 50 or 100 years later people start digging into that person's background and discover that maybe we shouldn't named it after a person. That being said though, times were different at certain periods, so you can't always just wipe somebody's name off the planet because they were doing something that was basically the norm of the time. You can educate people on it and make them aware, but to start stripping things just because of things that happened in the past, I don't think are always the right thing. You can't erase history. Now, there's a rope hanging from that tree. That's kind of weird. Okay, they're mentioning a closed trail, but I have no idea where that is. Well, let's keep walking and I'm sure we'll find it. There's a nice lookout of the North Saskatchewan that I may go back to. There were some people there hooting and hollering, making noise. This trail takes us right down to the river. Don't know if you can hear it on the microphone, but back over there, well, number one, that used to be the dump. So yay, dump. But then beyond that is industry, and you can hear the roaring of their exhaust and whatever machinery they have going. So the peace and quiet quota is maybe a 6 out of 10. Still picturesque though, despite the smoke. Yeah, you can certainly tell you're in the city. I try smiling and giving people the head nod and no response. Whatever, doesn't mean I can't be friendly. If I was ambitious, it's only a 17.5 kilometer walk to Fort Saskatchewan. That new bridge, 4.5 kilometers. Don't know if I'm up to that. We'll see. Along here is mainly a cycler's paradise. Haven't seen anybody else walking besides me. Everybody else is riding their bikes. I am happy that they preserve these areas for biking and walking, and even though I'm huffing and puffing, this trail is pretty much flat so far. So easy to push a stroller on or ride your bike and walk without much elevation change. I think you can pretty much ride from the northeast tip of the city here all the way to the southwest on city trails along the river. I didn't get out here very early today. It was 11:15, and I'm just about an hour into this. Might be turning around soon. That being said, around every bend is a new discovery. This over here is private property, but I guess they are farming it. It's funny to see the odd sunflower poking up in there. Lots of weeds in there, and then there's a big pond back there too. Somebody holding out, I guess, until a big developer comes and buys them out. Well, they warned me they were coming. And by the speed they were going, I could hear them coming. But, I don't know. Is this a trail meant for speed? On the other hand, I hate it when I'm driving down a country road and there's a group of 6 or 8 cyclists like that riding too wide. It's like, single file, boys, come on. I feel like being ranty today, so I need to curb my emotions. I'm going to say it, and I'm going to be judgy, but those people look sus. Boy, you get out here, and it is not people-y at all. Except for the people zipping by on their bikes. They come and go pretty quick. Feel that nice breeze. It was starting to get hot there. The wind had died down. A little side trail to the river here. Nobody on the river today. Not quite as murky as it has been, so the runoff must have slowed down a bit. Okay, I'm already 5 kilometers in it, and that means I've got probably 3 kilometers back to my car, so I don't think I'm going to make it to that bridge. I'm just going to climb this hill over here and then probably turn around and start heading back. Well, I was checking my phone, and too far to the footbridge for today anyways. If I hadn't circled around the Northeast River Park, I might have made it there and back, but my knee's a little sore, so I don't want to overdo it. And I'm already 6 kilometers into this walk, so it'll be a 10-kilometer day as it is. I don't know, I think the haze might be getting worse. More yellowing trees too. Fall is on the horizon. Well, not the most exciting walk I've been on, but I'm sweating like a dog, so I am putting out some calories at least. And it's peaceful. Like I said, virtually no walkers. The rest of the people are bikers. And they just zip by. And then there's none for a long time, so that is a great side of this trail. A little side trail here. What people are doing in here, I don't know. Just takes you to the farmer's field though. And they're very adamant about that. I think that's barley. But it looks pretty weedy in there too. I don't know, maybe he went with the no herbicide plan. I have noticed that the geese are starting to flock again over top of our house. There must have been 50 went by last night. I don't know if that means anything about it being early winter, or they're just doing their normal thing or what. It's like they disappear and then all of a sudden they come back again. It has been a glorious year for a lack of wasps though. Last year it was just frustrating to try and sit outside. You always had a wasp buzzing around your drink or something. Even made one of those pop bottle wasp catchers, which was basically what? Apple cider vinegar, a little bit of Dawn dish detergent, some water. So you cut the top of the bottle off and you flip it upside down and set it on top of the bottle, and inside you've got your apple cider vinegar and Dawn and a bit of water and maybe some sugar too. And then they come along and they sense that and they crawl into it and then they can't get out again. We must have caught easily 100 or 200 wasps that way. This year hardly even a one has showed up. It's weird how that works, because they've been a problem for the last 2 or 3 years and then they're gone. I saw a thing on TikTok about this woman opened up a can of tuna and put it like 20 feet away from your picnic site or whatever, and you never get wasps around. Has anyone heard of that? I never had. Seems like a waste of a can of tuna. So what are your best wasp catching traps or methods? Because they really can ruin a picnic. And while you're telling me that, don't forget to subscribe and like, all those good things. We can have more conversations about mundane things. Question for you too. How come when you see videos of places like Amsterdam and other European cities where cycling is the main mode of transportation, none of them wear helmets? See, they're out on their electric bikes. He's got his helmet strapped to his bike but not on his head, and she's wearing her helmet. Europe, they don't wear helmets. What is wrong with North Americans that we always have to wear a helmet while we're riding a bike? I haven't seen that many brain damaged people or people suffering concussions because of their falling off their bike or getting hit by a car. And if you're hit by a car, I think you get bigger problems than worrying about whether you're wearing a helmet or not. Just more unnecessary government intervention. It's like seatbelts. Back in my day, we were happy to go flying through the windshield. We liked it. I was adamant against seatbelts when I was 20. They're too restricting. You can't properly drive with the seatbelt on. Now I can't even practically put it into drive without having my seatbelt on. It just becomes habit. Just remember, it's all fun and games until somebody loses an eye, and you know how many people out there are wearing an eye patch. Very few, if you don't understand sarcasm. It's almost like the weather changed in the last hour and all the leaves started falling off the trees. Yay, fall though, my favorite time of year. I was born in fall, so maybe that's why I like it so much. But you can still have nice days like this. But a frost has come and killed all the bugs that bug you. A lot of people that were cycling the opposite direction to where I was walking are now coming back, so we're all meeting each other again. Kind of wish I'd made it to that bridge, but I think that was another 3 kilometers, and then I have to get back, of course. I see they keep pipeline right-of-ways nicely trimmed. Makes me wonder if they have to do that for access, or just to make it look nice, like gas and oil is a friendly or an environmentally friendly product. Whatever, keep it looking nice. Like we have the Trans Mountain pipeline. Doesn't go through our neighborhood, but south of us, a kilometer or 2 it goes through. And other than the signage, you wouldn't even know it's there. I think it comes in from Hardisty, Alberta, to the southeast part of Edmonton, and then actually kind of goes through our neighborhood towards Stony Plain and carries on west. I was glad to see that pipeline done, because whenever we went to BC on Highway 5, there was always stoppages because of the construction. There was always stoppages because of the pipeline construction. So people do park here to get on this trail. You don't necessarily have to park at the Northeast Park. That river seems to be flowing pretty fast today. I always say that. Then when I see people going by on a canoe or a paddleboard, it's not like they're struggling to slow themselves down. So we have a municipal election coming up in our city in a few weeks, and I sure hope most of our useless city council gets voted out. Between infill housing, overspending on bike lanes, poorly managed construction projects, ripping up roads on the only few paths you have to get to work all at the same time, and then them never finishing on time, is frustrating to no end. And they were so bound and determined to fix social injustices around homelessness and opioid use, and accomplished nothing. Then there's our useless mayor, who was able to go on hiatus to run as for the Liberal Party in Canada as an MP, ended up losing the election, and lo and behold, he got to just continue on being mayor. To me, that's bogus. If he had wanted to go to provincial or federal office, he should have had to resign his position. So, anyways, get out there and vote in your municipal elections, and vote for people who you know are going to do things that just don't have the same name as you. And also, not to mention, our taxes going up, well, at least 15% in the last 4 years. Just a poorly managed city. and I know council does not control the day-to-day functions of the city. They're the ones hiring city managers and letting those people hire their cronies, and then accomplishing nothing to improve the city. I did kind of shove in a grumpy old man vibe there. Sorry. Made it back to our starting point here. Well, it was a good walk, but it feels good to be just about done here. Not sure if it's the same hawks. You probably can't see them in this camera. Kind of hunting over there. But there's a pair of hawks over there doing whatever hawks do. These would look nice either side of my garage door. Nice flowers. I'm a great gardener if somebody else does it for me. I don't have the patience or the desire, yet I still want a nice manicured lawn and beautiful plants and flowers around. Bit of a problem there. And the problem is me. People over there blowing up kayaks, so maybe you're allowed to kayak in this pond. I didn't see any sign saying you couldn't. The only sign I saw was no swimming. There's the Jeep. Let's see how we did today. Okay, that turned out to be a 9-kilometer walk in an hour and 52 minutes. Felt longer. And my pace was 33 seconds off my best pace. So I kept up pretty good. And that was 12,000 steps, so a good day overall. I would have liked to have gotten to that footbridge, but I didn't. Maybe next time. Until the next one.